Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's Down and Dirty is one that I've been wanting to put out for a while, but I have to apologize. Unfortunately, because I am still a rookie to doing interviews, and this was totally different than anything I've ever done, it turns out the audio is terrible. For whatever reason, the audio recorder I was using has a terrible hum that I'm trying to get out of it, so whatever ends up happening with the audio, I apologize, it's terrible. That's number one. Number two, again, because I'm a rookie, my big camera, the one that I'm filming on right now, has a 30-minute record limit, as it turns out. So this interview, unfortunately, shuts off very abruptly about 3/4 of the way through, which really pisses me off because I had some really good questions towards the end of the interview that I didn't realize until later totally didn't get captured. So, all that being said, first of all, I apologize. Have I said that already? Secondly, I do plan on circling back with these ladies, which, by the way, thank you so much, Justine, Ashley, and Fran, for doing this. I cannot tell you enough how much I appreciate this. I've been wanting to put this video out for a while, but I will circle back down there. I do plan on finishing out this interview at some point in time, so stay posted. That being said, let's get into it. Today's video is women in the workplace. Enjoy it. So the first thing I'd like to do is just kind of down the line, like, who you are and how did you get into the industry. So we'll start at this end and work across, if that's okay.
You want my first and last name?
No, we don't have to be super official. And you need to read notes for that part?
No, I was just reading what on your list.
I didn't realize you came fully prepared.
That's just how I am.
Okay, all right.
Job description.
All right. You have to speak just a little louder just because my only microphone is that little guy there.
You're so soft. My name is Fran, and I am a heavy equipment operator, primarily crane.
And how did you get in the industry?
I wasn't making any money using my degree.
What's your degree in?
I have a major in biology and a minor in chemistry.
And how much more would you say you're making in this profession than you would be using a degree? Just ballpark.
About $60,000 more.
My name is Justine, and I am a heavy equipment operator. I have started out laboring probably about 13 years ago, and then I started operating. So I've done all aspects of the field, from office work to all job site maintenance, from cleanup crew to dirt crew to not so much pipe crew, but all the other stuff. And I'm also a school teacher, so it's my part-time gig. It's just a fun summertime job. Make extra money.
Ashley, I work for Mark's Construction. My dad owns the company. I've been doing it for 20-ish years. I operate heavy machinery, excavators and bulldozers primarily. I can run scrapers. Just about everything. Started off laboring in high school, checking grades in basements. Kind of a smorgasbord, professional multitasker.
Mm-hmm.
Training, pretty much done it my whole life. I prefer to run a dozer, but we don't always get that option in Ohio, so usually stuck in an excavator.
So, I guess before you, I'm assuming it's Ashley, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm going to ask this like 3 more times.
Cool.
So, Ashley, I'm assuming you got into it sort of like Justine, where it was kind of family
Yes.
business. You just kind of moved into it?
Yep.
So, what was Fran, right? Okay. What was your experience beforehand, and how did you kind of transition? What made you decide construction, I guess?
I did not want construction. I was in desperate need of money. My dad told me, go apply to the union, you'll get in, you're a female. They were pulling every person known to man in because of the pipeline coming through at the time. I went through the process, I applied, I passed the interview, I passed the testing, all that. I was one of the first people pulled in because of my scores, except I had no experience. Even though my other half owns his own company, I don't touch any of his equipment. I just kind of stayed away from it. So it was a very rough transition from working in a pharmacy and working as a server to going to work and being out there 60 plus hours a week, but the money was worth it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how many years have you been operating?
2014 to now, so
7
years.
7, yeah. Justine, how about you?
Since 2008.
Great for that.
And then,
How many years do you have in?
I graduated 2002. Started helping probably when I was like 16, so probably 2000.
Okay.
So
21 years.
a little more
Yeah,
than 27
21
years.
years.
When did you officially get on payroll? Because, you know,
Yeah,
it's
there's
like,
that under the table pay for a little while, and you're like, oh, the daughter will do it. Yeah, officially full time the day I graduated. So
Gotcha.
20-ish years, give or take.
All right, so next question, I'll start with you and we'll move to the other side. What brings you to work every day? What do you really enjoy about construction?
I love seeing a result. I love seeing a start of a project and knowing when we look at the plans what it entails, all the details that go into it, and seeing what the finished product can be. Like, it just gives you a lot of drive and passion, because when we do our wetland work, you take a site that's just destroyed, whether it be, you know, erosion or whatever, and you can take it from point A to point B, and it's such a drastic change that it's very rewarding.
Justine?
Well, I definitely enjoy going to work for the people. I love my crew, and they're my second family, and we just have a good time. You know, we work hard and have a good time, so I enjoy that part. And then, like what Ashley said, I enjoy seeing like the whole process from the golf course, for example, turn into all the dirt crew to get the building pads, and then to see the pipe come in and it just transform into a subdivision is just crazy to see it all happen. And, you know, we're technically changing lives. People are going to move into those homes and create memories, and we're just kind of that stepping stone to it.
Okay.
I have to agree with Justine. I love my crew. Like, you have to. I work in a very different environment than these guys.
Yeah.
We mine. So anything that we do, I don't see. I'm up top. I bring material in, out, whatever. I hoist my guys up, in and out. So I have to have a very close, tight-knit relationship with my guys, because if they don't trust me, I don't want to pick them up then.
Right.
You know, some of these guys I've put down 200 plus feet below ground. So for me, it's the experiences, and I always feel like I'm learning something new every day, because my field, it's not where you get an excavator, dig a hole, whatever, said, done, or build a building pad. It's not like that at all. We hit issues left and right all day long. It's very stressful, but I enjoy it.
Okay. What's the most difficult part of being a female in construction for you?
Not having a porta potty.
Or that time of month.
Yeah, that's even worse. Here, go to the east side. There's no porta potties. Where do I go?
You know what I do? I get on the phone right away and I call my sister. There's no portage on here.
I do it all the time.
She's like on it.
But see, that's cheating.
No, that's getting the job done.
I just look at the guy, Jesse, take me to Home Depot.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
And finding workwear. That too. That's the hardest, second hardest thing. Finding boots and durable clothes.
Yeah. Not QT jeans.
No, I can't even find them in long anymore.
Yeah.
I'm happy if I find them in my height.
Yeah.
I wish I needed long.
Justine, what would you say? Pretty much in agreement, or anything to add?
The hardest.
Yeah, what's the hardest part of being a female in the industry?
I would say until, like, you know, you get with your crew and they know you and they know how you work, you know, kind of like proving yourself in the beginning. It's always like, oh, well, for a girl, you did that pretty well. And
Harder. I'm pushed harder than the guys. Day in and day out.
Me too.
well, I think they expect that I'm just going to watch instead of like jump in and do what needs to be done. So once they see that, they're like, okay, she can work. You know, she can stay around now. But I just think like earning that respect in the beginning, because it's always like, oh, well, for a girl, you're good at it, or, you know, I wasn't expecting that from you.
So I feel like, just from what I've witnessed, like there's a low bar, like to impress someone, the bar is lower, but at the same time, to get their respect, the bar is almost higher.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure, you know, with family business, you know, my dad has made it hard. You know, it's not been an easy climb up that ladder at all. It's been harder for the family than it has anybody. So.
Well, and I'm sure you can relate to, like, being in a position of having a family business, I think a lot of people feel that you have this entitlement that, you know, coworkers or whatever may think that, oh, this girl, she doesn't know what she's doing. You know, it's daddy's daughter, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll tell you, and I know you've done the same thing along with your sister, and you've probably done the same thing too, even though it's not family business. But like, literally, we're put in a position where when I started, I was still in the ditches, laying pipes, checking grades, doing all the same work, and I had to earn my keep to get the respect from the guys that I still work with now. And I feel like if I would have never done those things, I probably wouldn't value my position as an operator now.
Yeah, I agree. The same with, like, I feel like my dad holds a higher standard to me and my brother and sister than anybody. It's like, you know, I'm working to, you know, prove to him I can do it, to also make him proud.
Right.
And it's like, I can't work any harder.
Right.
But then you do.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you say to females thinking about getting into the industry? First of all, would you recommend it for other females? And then secondly, what would you, like, as a piece of advice, even if you want to think about it for a second, what's a good piece of advice that you would give to females entering the industry with no experience, no real grasp of what to expect?
For me, I would say, no matter what, keep pushing, keep trying. I've told other women before that I've worked with that, you know, it may take you a little bit maybe to learn a piece of equipment or whatever, but women, we have like a lot more finesse than men. So I feel like we can, once you can figure out how to do a task, you will actually probably be further ahead than some of the men, because you have the finesse and the accuracy that I think a lot of guys rush out. Yeah. So just keep pushing and keep trying, because you will 100% nail it. And once they realize that, you will earn so much respect. So just keep pushing and keep trying, because it totally comes through.
I agree. Yeah.
And a lot of guys won't give you help.
No.
I mean, you almost have to sink or swim, so observe and figure it out, because a lot of men will not give you the advice because you are a woman in the field.
And I notice our guys, they won't give advice to others as well. Some will. Like, I'm not saying everybody, but sometimes they just are quick to say you're not good.
That's what I was about to say, is it's hard to get help as a male. I can't imagine trying to do it as a female when the odds are already against you.
I work by myself 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Right?
So what would you say to incoming females?
Learn to get a thick skin.
Yeah.
People scream, people yell. You cannot be sensitive. As soon as you show a sign of weakness like that, it's preyed upon.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to see a sign of weakness in their crew. Because just because something didn't go as planned doesn't mean it can't be fixed. I mean, it takes time to earn all these skills that they're talking about. It's not like I didn't hop in a crane overnight. It's taken me 6 years to get where I'm at. My first 4 years of my apprenticeship, all I did was oil. I didn't even touch a crane.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to look at them, got to work around them.
And you probably had to travel a lot for it, too.
I got lucky. I was on the Interbelt Bridge. I did I-90.
That's cool.
So I was on the tower crane on the Hilton Hotel. I mean, I got amazing experiences.
That's so cool.
But all I did was observe.
I'm kind of envious of her. I want to do her job.
It's really learning to develop that thick skin. I'm not saying become insensitive to stuff.
Sure.
Just know when to speak up.
I agree.
Because you can't complain about everything. Because then we have a guy, we call him Caitlin. Because there's nothing but complaining one.
We have a guy his name's Ben, and we call him Bieber.
I mean, the more you complain, the more everybody knows it. They don't talk about how good you did. They talk about how much you stress about things. I mean, you can stress. Just learn to understand what is causing your stress. Therefore, you get better.
And I, even like with teaching, but same thing in that. I feel like I teach kids, and then I also like teach adults, because the construction is like the same thing. They're all
day in, day out.
They're all kids, but
we all openly admit that we're big kids that play on Tonka toys.
yeah, it's a fun job. But I think the positivity is so important, because I know going out there and just offering a smile and asking the guys about their day and how their break was, you know, with the long weekend, and they sometimes need that, and guys don't really do that. So even though
I bring in food. I bring in baked goods and food.
So, me personally, I always loved having women on the crew, because you guys are kind of hitting on something that I didn't even think about until this moment. But yes, like, females were always easy to talk to. They were always friendly and smiley and chipper, while all the guys were out there in their bad moods. A lot of times there was food or cookies or something. Like it was a pick-me-up for the entire crew.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that until now, but you totally
I
know.
feel like we just care a little bit more. So, like taking coffee or taking donuts, it just is an extra little like bonus, and I think it goes a long way.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'll run and go get coffee
So
for the guys at work.
Have you noticed, like, working with women, I mean, would you say, like, their skill trades, like, how would you compare their skill trades next to men that you work with?
So this is kind of about to touch on the next subject that I've got. So where we're going is this is still one of the few industries that is still very much a man's world, in my opinion. Like, it's the manly man trades, and females are kind of like this addition, I feel like it's viewed. And so, especially on a lot of the jobs that I've been on, females have been relegated to driving off-road trucks or driving the roller or like all of these other tasks. And I don't think it has anything to do, in fact, I'm confident it has nothing to do with actual skill level. It has to do with the fact that there was an assumption made on the foreman's part or the superintendent's part, and they were like, stick her there.
Right.
And that's where she stays.
I deal with this day in, day out.
And that's why I wanted to get to this, is because this is a very, and I do want to openly acknowledge this, because it is such a big part of the industry for females, is there is that sexism. And I guess my question would be, so to answer your question, first of all, I think from a skill standpoint, when I see females that actually have gotten into a position where they're operating real equipment, we'll call it, their skill level is on par, if not, like you said, I think you nailed it too, with attention to detail is far better. I can say personally, as a man, I rush a lot. It's always about production and go. And so when it comes to some of the piecework, like, first of all, I just get bored with it. But secondly, I just I'm so in the mindset of going fast, I don't have that attention to detail. Mm-hmm. And so I've known a few hoe operators, and like the female hoe operators, like, it was clean when they were done.
Right.
So, the males would probably, I know a lot of guys would probably counter with, well, that's what takes them so long. But it wasn't that they were taking significantly longer. It was...
I don't know if you've ever heard this, and maybe you guys have had, but we always say in the trade, there's never time to do it right, but there's always time to do it twice.
Absolutely.
And I feel like women don't have to go back and fix a couple of those steps, where guys are just hog it, throw it here, slap it around, call it good.
I was just about to say, now you don't have to chase it with a cleanup dozer. Like, you're done.
Right.
And a lot of guys don't recognize that. Instead, they look at it and go, well, she's taking forever.
Right.
And again, that goes into the sexism. So, leading into the next question, so sexism and sexual harassment are pretty prevalent in this industry. For sure. And I'm sure all of you have experienced it. And so I guess my question to all of you would be, how would you recommend, especially incoming females, how would you recommend they deal with that, and how have you handled those situations?
I would say, like, just staying professional. You know, you're there to do your job. You're there to make your money to provide for your family, and, you know, you're there for one reason, and don't open yourself up to the situation.
Correct.
I think it's easy to fall into traps. So staying focused and away from that is important.
I would have to agree with Justine, but also with what Francis said earlier, is that you have to have thick skin. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're vulnerable, because it can hurt you. Have always said, and I've literally stayed true to this even before I was married and now not married. However, I never would ever date anybody I work with because that also makes you vulnerable.
I follow that rule to a T.
100% would never like do it. And I mean, I feel like as long as you have your thick skin, once you can kind of feel it out, new people, I feel like you can't totally you don't want to joke with somebody until you understand. If you have the mindset that you can joke with somebody, so what? Like, have fun. Like, I joke with the guys I work with. We're all tight-knit group. But
There's an understanding.
yeah, there's an understanding between us, and I would never do that if I was on a different crew with somebody.
Sure.
It just would never happen, you know.
I agree. Yeah, because we are all so close. Like, certain guys can joke with me, and I'll throw a joke that's probably far worse right back at him.
Sure.
And one of them's my boss. I'm actually really good friends with my boss, but I have to be cautious who I show that I'm friends with my boss.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he just went through a divorce. I'm like, here's the only female in the entire company talking to the newly divorced boss. And
Yeah.
I'm begging and pleading to go to Texas where he's going. I'm like, yeah, that's going to look real good. It's not the case. It's just we're that similar in our mentality and how we like to do things at work. It's just the flow of the job. I've been harassed at work. I've actually had to make a complaint because I kept boundaries. There was nothing done. I didn't actually like working with this guy in the first place, and he kept touching me. He would get on my equipment and touch me. I'm like, I'm 14 feet in the air. Why are you climbing up here to touch my leg?
Yeah.
And it just got to the point, I'm like, can you please put him on another crew?
Did I leave you with a big enough cliffhanger on that one? Again, I'm sorry. I am so irritated that I didn't realize the camera had a record limit, and unfortunately that's the way we have to end the video. But I do really appreciate you guys watching this. I hope it gives you some insight as a male into the world of females in our job space. And if you're a female, I hope you've gotten some information that might encourage you to get into the industry. I can't tell you enough how much this industry needs more females in it. So as always, if you have any questions, if there's anything I can do for you, feel free to drop it down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.